Biology Part 153, Migration and Navigation. Migration is defined to the act of moving from one place to another. Three types of movement can be usefully distinguished as outlined in the figures. Return migration involves journeys in two directions by the same individual. The distance covered may be modest, as in the case of daily movement of plankton from surface water of the oceans during the day to deeper water at night. Arctic terns, on the other hand, migrate between North and South Pole, a round trip of 40,000 kilometers, and spend up 8 months of their annual cycle in a non-stop flight. Remigration is a return movement completed by later generation. The best known example is that of North American monarchs, butterflies, and the Danaus and the Plexippus. Marking experiments indicate that almost 60% of the adults which emerge in Great Lakes region in the late summer and early autumn migrate 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers over wintering sites in Mexico and Texas. Here the monarchs are relatively inactive and often cluster together in enormous numbers in the suitable trees, flying only on the warmer days. The mating starts in February and is followed by a slow northward migration. Most of the overwintering adults die without traveling far, and it is their offspring which complete the journey to Great Lakes. Not all monarchs migrate, most regions support small resident populations of individuals which hibernate in hollow trees or under the bark. The third variety of migration, called removal migration, is one-way movement of the type which enables organisms to colonize new areas. The weak-flying insects like aphids, for example, are dispersed by air currents. Migrations are often linked to behavioral cycle and to the changes in the external conditions which trigger migratory behavior. A bigger problem is to explain how the organisms navigate over enormous distances. With such precision, European swallows, Erinda rustica, overwinter in Central and Southern Africa, but individuals are able to return for several years to the same nest site in the barn or under the caves of an English house. Many migrant birds perform similar feats of navigation. Precisely how these are achieved is not fully understood. It is not yet fully understood. There are just some guesses on it. But there seems to be no single simple explanation. Some birds orientate with respect to the sun and are able to compensate for changing their position during the day. Night migrants appear to use the moon in a similar way. The larger birds glide on the thermal air current generated over the land and therefore avoid flights over water. Consequently, migrating individuals crossing the Mediterranean from Asia and Europe to Africa are channeled towards one of the number of crossing points, including the Straits of Gibraltar in the west and the Bosphorus in the east,